So, welcome to the last session of the acceptance sampling plan. Uh, that is the eighth session of the unit six of the subject that is called as the statistical quality control. So once again, the course outcome is what the understanding the basic concepts of the acceptance sampling. After the completion of this course, he is going to understand the basic concepts of the acceptance sampling. So in the last topic, in the last sessions, we have discussed some problems on the OC curves, and that is the OC curves of a single sampling plan, and something about the double sampling plan and how the double sampling plan can be implemented, that we have studied in the last session. So now, in the last session, we have discussed about the what exactly is the double sampling plan and how it will be implemented in the 7 steps I have explained you. So now here we'll take an example how exactly this double sampling plan will work out. Suppose a mobile company is just a problem, just we'll go through it. Suppose a mobile phone company produces mobile phones in a lot of 400 phones each. So each lot contains 400 units here. To check the quality of the lots, the quality inspector of the company uses the double sampling plan. So we need to use a double sampling plan for these lot which contains 400 phones in each lot. And here it is the first sample will be drawn, which is of 15 number, and it will be compared with the acceptance number, that is C1 is equals to 1. Then you need to draw the sample size N2. N2 is equals to 30, and it is compared with the C2, that acceptance number C2 is 3. Now explain the procedure for the implementing it under the acceptance sampling plan. Now how exactly it will be implemented here? That's where we have to need to decide. So for implementing the double sampling plan, the quality inspector of the company randomly draws the first sample of 15 mobiles from the lot of 400 and classify each mobile of the first sample as defective and non-defective. So this is the first step where, so as the sample number 1 consists of the N1 samples, N1 is equals to 15 samples, we need to draw 15 samples from a lot of 400 phones. So first we need to pick these 15 items randomly from the first lot, and it will be a first sample. Now after taking the sample of 15 mobiles, so the quality control inspector need to check the each and every mobile, and then he has to bifurcate these mobiles, the good one and the defective one and the non-defective, as this he has to classify it. Then the second point, so at the end of the inspection, he or she counts the number of the defective mobiles. Say it is D1. So D1 is the number of the defective mobile of in the sample 1, that is the N1 is equals to 15, found in the first sample. Compares D1 with this C1 and C2. He needs to compare this D1, that D1 number of the defectives in the from the sample 1. Say D1 is the number of the defectives in the sample number 1, that is 15. There are 15 samples, and in that 15 samples, say D1 is the defective items. So then that D1 he needs to compare with C1 and C2. C1 is the acceptance number for the sample 1, and C2 is the acceptance number for the sample 2. C1 is the acceptance number for the sample 1. C2 is the acceptance number for the sample 2. So if that D1, the number of the defectives in the first sample, is less than or equals to 1, so because C1, because you see C1 is equals to 1 here. So this D1, if D1 is less than or equals to C1, so we can accept the lot. If D2, if once again we need to compare with C2, if this D1 is greater than C2, should not be more than the C2. C2 is equals to how much? 3. So if this D1 is greater than C2, then reject the lot. So it means that the D1 value you need to compare with the C1 and C2 here. If D1 is less than or equals to C1, where C1 is equals to 1, if it is equals to 1, less than or equals to 1, so then we need to accept. So we need to accept the lot. If that D1 is greater than, if that defective is more than the C2 value, that is 3, then we need to reject the lot. So we need to reject the lot. Next, if that C1 is less than D1, C1 is less than D1, and D1 is less than or equals to C2, it means that the number of the defectives in the mobile is 2 or 3, then uh, he or she draws the second sample from the lot. So a second sample from the lot. Here she counts the number of the defective D2 found in the second lot and compares the total number of the defectives. Now, so he has to count the D1 plus D2. So he will add both the defectives D1 and D2 in the both the samples with the acceptance number C2. Now, if this D1 plus D2 is less than C2, then accept the lot. C2 is 3. If both in the if in the both the samples are put together, if their sum is less than 3, then he need to accept the lot. If this D1 and D2 is greater than C2, that is 3, then he need to reject the lot. So that is the one of the explanations for the double sampling plan. Now we need to study the advantages of the double sampling plan. So a double sampling plan has involves less total inspection because the first sample taken is less than that called or for a comparable signal sig, sig, sig from comparable sig, signal single sampling plan, and consequently in all the cases in which the lot is accepted or rejected on the first sample. So it is also possible to reject a lot without completely inspecting the entire second sample. So that is the advantages here. It has a psychological advantages of giving a lot a second chance to the producers. It may seem unfair to reject a lot on the basis of the single sampling plan. So there is no meaning in just rejecting just by seeing the second sampling plan. So second samples. So the double sampling plan permits taking the two samples on which one makes a decision. So here we are going to take like in the single sampling plan, we are taking one samples. Here we are taking the two samples. So there is a less chances of the rejections because of the two samples. So now we'll know the curve for the DSP, what exactly how the DSP curve will be that. Like a single sampling plan, a double sampling plan has an operating curve. So here it is also having the operating curve that is called as the OC curve for the double sampling plan. So that gives the probability of the acceptance as a functions of the incoming quality. It also complementary complementary or operating characteristics curve that shows the probability of acceptance of the sample 1 and the probability of the rejections of the sample 1. So here you can see the OC curve for the double sampling plan has been drawn for that. So probability of acceptance on the first sample and the probability of rejections on the second sample. And here it is a probability of acceptance for the both the samples. So the curve 2, you can see the curve 2 is a main curve. So the curve 2 is curve 1, this is curve 1 and this is curve 2. Curve 2 is the main curve of the plan because it gives the probability of final acceptance. The difference between the curve 2 and curve 1 gives the probability of the acceptance on the second sample. So that is about the second, double OC curve for the double sampling plan. Now the sequential sampling plan. What exactly is a sequential sampling plan? So this plan is a simple extension of the double sampling plan. So it means that a sequential sampling plan is similar to the double sampling plan. At each stage of the sampling, the accumulated results are analyzed to make the decision of accepting or the rejecting lot. So here we at each stage, whatever the result that will be accumulated will be analyzed to take the decision whether we are going to accept the lot or we are going to reject the lot. If at any stage no final decision will be taken, that is, we are not taking the decision at one stage. So we will take the decisions at the end. So then another sample will be taken for the further decision. The scheme helps in reducing the size of the inspection to maintain a given level of protection. So the preference of any sampling scheme mainly depends on the degree of the accuracy desired by the organization as well as the resources available for the inspection. It is evident that acceptance sampling provides economic in the inspection with fairly good chance of maintaining the desired quality of the standards. So that is what it is. You need to just study the definitions of the sequential sampling plan. So, but you are not studying the flow charts or the uh, and the operating characteristics for the sequential sampling plan here. Just need to know some definitions about the sequential sampling plan. So now we need to, as we have studied the single sampling plan and the double sampling plan, so we need to study the difference between the single sampling plan and the double sampling plan. What exactly is the difference? So the first difference is that yes, in a single sampling plan, it is easier to design and operate in comparison with the double sampling plan. As in the single sampling plan, we are going to take the lot only one lot. So where that lot will be having n samples and will be having the acceptance number C. But here in the double sampling plan, so there will be two lots, two samples will be there. Each sample will be having N1 and C1 and N2 and C2. So the design of the double sampling plan is quite tedious, and whereas as compared with the design of the single sampling plan. So single sampling plan are easier to design and operate when you compare with the double sampling plan. The second the advantages of, so that is the differences. Okay, the advantages of double sampling plan over the single sampling plan seems to be psychological. It looks unreasonable to reject a lot on the basis of the first sample, and it is more convincing to say that the lot has to be rejected on the basis of the inspections of the two sample. So that will be one sort of advantages when you compare with the single sampling plan. So the third difference is that under the double sampling plan, the good lot will be generally be accepted and the bad lot will be usually rejected on the basis of the first sample. So that will be the third difference. And the fourth difference, in double sampling plan, an average 25 to 30% less number of the items in its need to be inspected as compared to the single sampling plan. So that will be the advantages in the second double sampling plan. And the fifth one is the operating characteristic curve for the double sampling plan is steeper than the single sampling plan. So that will be the fifth advantages of the difference between the single sampling plan and double sampling plan. So now we will take a problem on a double sampling plan. So a double sampling plan. So a double sampling plan is as follows. Select a sample of 2 from a lot of 20. So uh, first sample will be number is 2 and the lot size is 20. Out of 20, the first sample that we are going to select, it is 2. So if both the articles inspected are good, accept the lot. We need to accept the lot. If both they are defective, then reject the lot. If one defective is there, take the second sample of article 1. So if the article in the second sample is good, accept the lot. If the defective, reject the lot. If a lot 25% defective is submitted, 25% defection, what is the probability of acceptance? Compute this one. So here is the solution for that. Since a lot is 25% defective, number of the defective articles in the lot will be 20 into 25%. So it is 5. So the non-defective articles is 15. Accept the lot. When the number of the defective in the first lot is 0, when the number of the defectives in the first sample is 1 and non-defectives in the second sample is 0. So 1. So probability of getting the one defective in this first sample. So we need to find it by means of the Poisson's distributions NCR into NCR divided by NCR. So here this is a formula that it is the probability of getting one defective. Sample size is 15 C1 into 5C1 divided by 20C2. So it is probability of getting 0.395. So this is the probability of getting one defectives. Probability of getting 0 defectives in the first sample P0 will be 0.553. When you put this one in the formula, you will get 0.553. So next, now you take the second sample. Second sample, N is 18, capital N is 18, and N2 is 1. So defective articles, 18 into 25%, it is 4.5. So 4. C2 is equals to 1. So non-defective items, 18 minus 4, it is 4. 8 minus 4, 18 minus 4, it should be 14 here. So then what is the probability of getting 0 defectives? So probability of getting 0 defectives is 0.0777. So next, the probability of one defective in the first sample and 0 defective in the second sample will be this much. Therefore, the probability of the acceptance will be 0.533 plus 0.395 into 0.777 will be equals to 0.899. That is the probability of getting the probability of the acceptance. So here I have completed the session 8, and the session 8 will complete the unit 6 of the subject that is called as the statistical quality control. So thank you very much.